Most people think they understand SAP because they use it every day. They create purchase orders, they post invoices, they run reports. But in reality, most people only see a very small part of the system. They only see their own screen, transaction, and task. In this video, I want to step back and explain what SAP actually does inside a company, from end to end, not as a tutorial, but from a business and enterprise perspective. Hi, I'm Ben. On this channel, Ben explains enterprise systems. I explain how enterprise systems really work, beyond step-by-step instructions. Let's start with a common misconception. Many people think SAP is an accounting software, some think it's an IT system, and others think it's just a very large database. All of these descriptions are incomplete. They describe a part of SAP, but they miss its actual role in a company. So what does SAP really do? At its core, SAP connects business actions to financial results across the entire organization. This is the idea that holds everything together. Everything in SAP starts with a real business action. A customer places an order, goods are received from a supplier, a service is delivered to a client. These are not system events. They are things that happened in the real business world. SAP's job is to capture those real-world actions in a structured and consistent way. When a business action happens, SAP turns it into system documents. Not because the system likes paperwork, but because companies need traceability. Every document answers questions like, what happened? When did it happen? Who was responsible? What is the financial impact? This is how SAP turns business reality into something the organization can control and analyze. And this is also why finance is always involved. Even when a transaction looks purely operational, it eventually impacts finance. Costs, revenue, assets, inventory, profit. Finance is not a separate layer added at the end. It is woven into almost every process from the beginning. That's why SAP Finance is not just about posting numbers. It is about reflecting what actually happened in the business. Another important point many people miss is integration. In SAP, one business action rarely affects only one area. A single event can impact operations, logistics, finance, reporting, and management decisions, all at the same time. This is powerful, but it also explains why SAP can feel slow or restrictive. The system is not reacting to just one user. It is maintaining consistency across the entire company. At this point, people often ask, why not just use Excel? The answer is scale. At a small scale, Excel works very well. It is flexible, fast, and personal. But as organizations grow, Excel starts to break. Multiple versions appear, manual controls fail, and the numbers stop matching. SAP exists because large organizations cannot rely on individual tools anymore. They need shared rules, shared data, and shared accountability. And this brings us to the key idea of this video. SAP is not there to make your individual job faster. It is there to make the company work. It prioritizes consistency over convenience, reliability over speed, and structure over flexibility. And once you see SAP through this lens, many of its design decisions start to make sense. Before we finish, let me summarize everything we discussed. SAP captures real business actions, it turns them into structured system records, it connects those actions to financial outcomes, and it keeps the entire organization aligned as it grows. This is what SAP actually does in a company. In the next videos, I will explain where finance fits into this picture in more detail and why SAP controlling exists at all. If you want to understand enterprise systems instead of just learning transactions, welcome to Ben Explains Enterprise Systems.